finally got to get outside, so it was something different. It was good. Good scrimmage for us. What you got?
Tom, Mike talked about how the offense, started quickly, had a nice touchdown the first drive, and they got a field goal, and then it seemed like the defense really kind of came on and took control for a while.
It did, and as is always the case, you'd like to be able to see. We put the ball at different spots, so we started at the -30 and then drove from there, and offense did drive right down first one and scored, and which is good for offense. But there was a couple key third downs there that the defense didn't convert on, and obviously offense did. So, and then the second time they got the field goal, felt like that there was some penalties on the defense. There were some two offsides and a pass interference that kind of got the offense out of a hole. So, just a lot of teaching. So back and forth, and you said offense started fast and did some good things, and then defense there in the middle part of the scrimmage kind of started taking control and forcing punts and getting 3 and outs and getting off the field, and then we went down took a break, did some special teams work, and then came back and did a lot of plus drives, so from the 30 and then got inside the 10 and then did 2 minutes. So just really felt like, obviously the film will show everything, but a chance to really see both sides. And got a lot of kids playing, a lot of reps in there, got a few over 100 snaps, got 102, which is our total, which is the range we had for our goal. So I feel good about that, the way we spaced. We had really, really intense practice on Thursday, so I'm trying to balance that out, by having 2 back-to-back days of a lot of live goes. So that was encouraging, and just even the situation at the end, the first group went down, was down by 2 minutes, minute 15 to go, 1 timeout, and the offense was able to get the field goal. So a big kick by Logan Justice and under some pressure. I thought that was really good. And then the second group had a chance to kind of teach some situational things and a couple mistakes that were made with the time, on the clock, knowing whether you have timeouts or no timeouts. So a lot of great teaching. So really first big scrimmage we've had in terms of number of snaps. And so I thought, just from my observation, a lot of great things.
I guess Mike Penix, Coach DeBoard said I think the word he used was amazed at just how much he's been able to soak up so quickly in terms of learning maybe off the field schematics and things like that. What have you seen from him at that position?
Yeah, kind of from my perspective is a little different, just in the fact that I don't sit in on all the meetings with him and in that position, but I see what happens on the field, and would have to say that I'm pleasantly surprised with the poise more than anything, because it's just a young man that I've learned in a short amount of time of having these mid-year guys that it's a much harder process than most people think. Most guys that do it are very excited about it. Then when they get in it, they're like, man, this is really hard. The schedule's different, the classes, it's everything. And it doesn't seem to be fazed by that. Doesn't seem to be overwhelmed by the schedule, all the intensity of everything that you're doing, both having to manage the classroom and then picking up a new offense that he's never even known before. So yeah, I mean it's I didn't really expect it to him to pick it up as quickly as he has, and then even the day making check downs and throws and pretty poised in the pocket when you're bringing pressure, and so those are positive. But I had a very costly mistake, throwing the ball, which would be a lateral, and it ended up being a fumble, and defense got it, so at a critical time. So you got all those positive things, but then you got freshman mistakes that those guys will make. But I do agree with Coach DeBoard. It's just he's a little, I'd say quite a bit further along than you would expect him to be.
Special teams wise, there are a couple hiccups there. What do you have to clean up?
And I'll tell you the thing too, special teams was we've really struggled to get quality reps because of the being indoors so much. It's the first time we've been outside for a while, and so when you punt, everything is it's not really realistic because of being indoors, and so that's been good. But we're trying to get a lot of different guys back there. Had a missed a field goal, but it starts with not a good enough snap, so just the mechanics of that. We're trying to rotate a lot of different guys in there. So from a kicking perspective, thought that things looked pretty smooth from that. We'll go back and watch all those on film for sure, but I felt like that the transition, because when you do all those, you got guys from both sides of the ball, and we're trying to get a scout look out there in there between the series, and so there's some good and bad, but a lot to teach off of. So I thought it was just great to be outside, so we can really get everything game mode. And that was our first really kind of big scrimmage to do all that as well. So things to clean up for sure.
Jacob Robinson said he's just kind of talked with you, or at least heard from you, the idea, the sense of urgency, I think was the thing that you really imparted on him the most. I know he's been a little bit limited this spring, but in sort of the broader context of being a veteran gearing up for his last year, what do you need from him and what has he brought so far?
Well, the thing he brings, he's got so much experience, and kind of like Jonathan Crawford, they played so much football, played as freshmen, had a chance to be, a huge part of this last year, and has a great perspective. Has been out a little bit here, with an injury, but he'll be back here soon. I just think that when you sit in that seat and you know what this feels like, you can provide so much help to these younger guys. We are a young team overall. And we need that. That's why I really challenge these older guys to really talk about Luke Timian being a leader, talk about, Crawford talking about Jacob. And I just think that those guys being able to bring the young guys along and to provide that sense of urgency to meeting time, to walkthroughs, to the preparation process is kind of what I mean with that. And because that's the part that you do it as a coach and you emphasize it, but it's always more meaningful and powerful when it comes from within. And so getting those senior leaders to be able to step up and provide that and create that sense of urgency. Because sometimes when you're young, you don't understand, the brevity of it all. Because now when you're his perspective, I guarantee you sit here and say, hey, this is my last spring that I'm ever going to have as a college football player. And so it creates a whole different mindset that you have rather than if you're a freshman, you think, man, I got several more years to go, and you take a lot for granted. So I just think that's kind of what I'm trying to get across to these older guys.
What has a healthy Niall Sykes brought to this defense?
Well, he gives us a pass rush, when he doesn't jump off sides. But that's sometimes the ones that do rush the passer well, they're just kind of itching to go, So, but we just the twitchiness that he brings, the ability for us not to have to always bring pressure, to get pressure on the quarterback and bring those blitzes, and so and he's bigger and stronger. He's quicker. Really, he benefited from having some time. I don't think his physical strength wasn't one of his assets, a year ago, and now having all this time to do it and then benefit from a new strength staff. He's really, he's changed his body in a good way. So he's got to continue to do that, and got to continue to have him lead and make good choices and be a great teammate and do an awesome job making plays.
I guess health-wise, is there anybody who's maybe less limited now than they were earlier in the spring, or maybe anybody who's picked something up?
LaShawn Minor is kind of getting some more reps, getting him back squared away. That was great to see out there as well. I think that we've tried to monitor Jacob, and we're hoping to get him out there this next week. That'd be big for us. I think he doesn't need the contact reps, because of his age and experience, but just getting in the flow of everything, I'd feel good about it if we can get him some really quality things, before we get to the spring game. I'm just trying to think, Mike Majet's another guy. We're just trying to get him, situated and comfortable, in our offense, and just because he missed so much last year, and just getting him reps and all that. And so, but the other guys that you didn't see today because it was all live, they're going to stay. Those receivers aren't going to be back, and so, but they say the one that jumps out to me would be Jonathan Hale. We're just trying to get him. He didn't get reps today. We're just trying to continue to get him out there and get him going and try to get his body right.
And I know Jay Shun isn't active this spring, but what's it kind of meant to have him back around? And,
Yeah, well, he's just got, you talk about, attitude, mindset, sense of urgency, with what he's gone through, his leadership, his smile, his attitude, the energy he brings. He just has that aura about him when he's out there. So you love him around you all the time. He's never, ever down, even though he has, probably right to be discouraged a little bit. But rehab's going great. He's working hard. And I expect him to, per the timetable, he'll be, hopefully ready to roll. But no, he's a great young man. So he's awesome to have around us for sure.
All right.
All right.
Thanks, Tom.
Have a nice